Hello, and welcome back to the Dungeons & Dragons Podcast UK. My name is Yazmin, and I will be the DM.
Hi, my name's Samantha. I play Elora Greyvale, a sorcerer from Nephalia.
Hello, I'm Colin Robinson, and I play Cuin de Greymont, a paladin from Gavany.
Hi, I'm Ryan, and I play Ogvar, a ranger from Kessig.
At the start of this week's episode, our characters have moved up to level 2. Elora is now a level 2 sorcerer, Cuin is now a level 2 paladin, and Ogvar is now a level 2 ranger. Episode 4, Bolts from the Blue. A quick recap of last session, I believe, is in order. Last session, you all met up. You went to the Cracked Acorn Inn. You finished doing your task. You delivered your parcel to Evet Hallowstrike, the innkeeper. And he sent you on a little job. You went and retrieved some whiskey for him. You came back to town, did a bit of shopping, sold some things. This paladin then got spiked by his party members. And on your way out, you encountered some cultists, which you annihilated. And then you received your loot from said cultists. So we start off outside the gates of Gloomrest, with the three of you stood over 3 cultist corpses and 1 town guard corpse.
Have we searched them?
You have searched them, you've received your loot.
Can we look behind us and see what the rest of the townsfolk are doing?
Yeah, sure. You look behind you and the townsfolk they've kind of dispersed now. They were kind of clumped up in that kind of, we're being attacked kind of fashion. They're kind of dispersing now. They've had a bit of a cheer. You know, they're carrying off, you see a couple of men carrying off this dead town guard. You just see him to be buried somewhere. You'd hope to be buried somewhere. That's it, really. They're all kind of going, melting away into the streets, back to normal life.
Right, so now we're going to...
Well, I guess. Well, that's that done. That was a little unexpected. We barely even left town. I think we'd better just strike out and carry on. What do you say, guys?
Okay, yep, good idea.
That was quite a little bit of rough and tumble there. I quite enjoyed that. Yes, right, back to the quest, I suppose.
So, if we carry on down along the track, I suppose. Is it a road or is it track?
It is a road.
It's a road, right. We'll carry on down the road then. I will just fall in line. I'd prefer to be sandwiched between the middle of these two, I think. So, who's...
Just ask a question. Do we all know what these cultists were and what they're about, or is it something new to any of us?
Yes, these cultists are commonly known. They are Skursdag cultists. You, Cuin, will know quite a lot about these Skursdag cultists. They are the opposing force to the Church of Avacyn, you could say. And they're part of the reason why Micaeus chose you specifically for this quest, because he knew that you had no connections to the Skursdag cultists. Skursdag cultists in themselves are a nasty bunch. They believe that the demon lords of the plane, Grizzlebrand in particular, who you know was the one fighting Avacyn when she got trapped into inside the Hell Vault, they believe that demons should basically rule the plane. They believe in chaos and destruction. They're not a particularly nice bunch, and unfortunately their influence is growing, and they have pervaded nearly every single part of society at this point, from the lowest sewers to even inside the church itself. So this is a serious problem, and as you would imagine, Micaeus doesn't want the matter of Avacyn being trapped to spread beyond those he trusts.
But that's only what Cuin knows. The rest of us know they're a bad bunch.
Yeah, Skursdag cultists, they tend to be killed on sight.
Okay.
They are not appreciated very much at all. No, because most of this plane is highly religious. They believe deeply in the Archangel Avacyn and everything that, her good work she does, trapping these demons. It's her entire existence is to trap demons. So it really is complete opposite force of the Archangel Avacyn.
Okay.
So the time you started leaving, because obviously you're hangover, I'm assuming you've still got your visor closed at this point. It's about midday. the road ahead is clear. You're kind of entering, or you're exiting the town. There's only one exit, but you're going the same way to join up back to where the northern march deviates towards Havengol and then down towards Drunau. And as said previously, this journey will take 3 to 4 days of travel.
Okay.
Okay, what would you like to do?
Well, I'll fall in line. I don't know who wants to go first, but I'm going in the middle.
I don't mind leading. Give me survival skills and whatnot.
I don't care. I'm just going in the middle.
And also, he's ranged, so...
You don't really have to worry about finding where you're going at this point because it is well trod.
Okay.
There is a very definite clear path.
Well,
you can see.
I'll go front, because obviously if anything attacks us,
You there?
I'm there, and he can get his crap shot out.
Yep.
Okay.
Great.
Lead the way.
Good.
Okay,
Cuin.
right. I suppose we better start forward.
Okay.
I'll take the lead.
Right. Well, I'll go in the middle then. I'll follow Cuin, and I guess Ogvar. You stay behind me, Ogvar. I'll cover my ass.
Okay, Elora. No trouble.
Okay. So you start out. The road is well worn. It's a very common trade route, this route. A lot of people stop in at Gloomrest to stay in the Cracked Acorn Inn, to stay overnight on their way up to Havengol or on their way up through the northern march up to Thraben. You can see the deep ruts in this track from countless years of carriage travel, heavy loads pounding the earth. And it's kind of the flat road, and then it banks up to the sides, and as you progress further forwards down towards Drunau, it flattens out and it becomes just a flat plain almost. You can see where all the ground is worn away, there's bare dirt exposed. It's not a particularly sunny day. It's quite grey, quite cloudy. This is about standard for Innistrad. And, there's not much traffic on the roads at all today in that sense. There's, nothing. Don't really encounter anything. It's just a steady walk.
And is this open? These sort of open plains around us? Or?
Yep, this is completely open plains. You can see a good distance away. You have trouble because your visor, so I'm not going to rely on that too much. But it's mainly flat plains. You can see where the ground sometimes dips down into dips, and you can just see over it. You can't see inside the dips. There are small copses of trees scattered around here and there, but there's not much really else to see.
We don't pass any small settlements as we travel, or
No. Make me a knowledge. Make me a knowledge nature.
All of us.
Just Ryan.
so 19 plus
Yeah, I'll do it.
19 plus 5, so it's 24.
Ooh.
Okay, so from your knowledge nature, you can tell that the geography of this land, where you've just been, it's not so much that you know this road. I mean, Elora would probably have better luck knowing this area. But you can tell from the geography of this land that, there's unlikely to be another settlement around. It's a bit too exposed, it's a bit too open, there isn't really much there. The ground doesn't look good to farm, so you can probably assume that there wouldn't be another settlement for quite a period of time.
Okay.
What sort of time we...
So, you've probably been walking about 2 hours, so I'd say it's probably about 2-3 p.m. Nights do drop in early, around 6-7 o'clock around here.
Well, I think we should keep pushing on a little bit. We'll make camp in a bit. What do you think? Just keep pushing on for now.
Yes, that's fine about me.
Yes, no problem.
Are you going to talk about anything while you're walking? Is there any conversations you want to have? Anything you want to pick each other's brains over?
Well, yeah, I think I would probably be asking them, wouldn't I, a bit more about themselves. And Ogvar, what's your background? What's your history? Where do you come from?
I grew up in Kessig with my mother and my father. I did a bit of stonemasonry when I was younger with my father, but it just wasn't for me. I just much more preferred being in the woods.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, have you got any brothers or sisters or?
No, just me, Ma and Pa.
Oh, okay. And your ma and pa, they're still in Kessig, are they?
Yes, still. Father's still working, still stonemason, local. Keep it local, shop local.
That's fair enough. And Okay, Kieran, obviously you know Casper, as do I. So tell me about your family. Casper doesn't tell me too much. Obviously, he's fairly private.
Oh yes. Well, I'm the youngest son of Delgar and Angelette de Greymont. Quite wealthy. Had a very nice childhood, but as it got older, it became apparent that we had to be sorted out. So I was sent to the church, being the youngest, to learn all about the church. But it seemed that I was more into the martial arts than actually being a priest. So they trained me as a paladin.
Oh, okay then. So, right, yeah, good. Well, you're obviously happy with that, travelling around and stuff.
Oh yes, much better than being confined. I love the adventure.
And how did you meet Ogvar then?
Well, actually, it was on he was on a pilgrimage to the church, leading some of the village priests, and I met him there. And not long after, I ended up being a bit lost in some woods and came across Ogvar, and he sort of showed me the right direction, shall we say.
Oh, and you've been friends since then?
Well, yes. I mean, I've called on him a few times, knowing that quite basically that my skill set isn't probably best in the woods. So, and Alva's really been helpful.
Oh, okay. Well, that just gives me a little bit of background information. So, yeah, I kind of come from Havengull. Always been there. Was born and raised there, and my parents still live there. And they're milliners, so they make hats, which explains the hat that I'm wearing. It was made for me for when I left home. It's a bit of a family tradition, you know. So, yeah, it's my prized possession because it's a nice hat, you know, and it's personal. So that hat goes everywhere with me.
Can I ask a question? What exactly is it made of? It looks.
Oh, this is made of snakeskin.
Oh.
This is made of snakeskin.
Wow.
Yeah, quite a rare sort of snake. So it's kind of black and white, and hence the black corks off the bottom, which is colour coordinated, shall we say? A bit like the rest of my outfit. But yeah, I've got a couple of brothers, and I was brought up a bit rough, tough, and tumble with them, and I guess that's why the life on the merchant ships kind of suited me. I get used to dealing with blokes, and bit of a good sense of humour. Well, you have to when you're doing that. So yeah, that's me.
Oh, fantastic.
So obviously, I'm just going to keep walking at this point. Just chatting as we're walking.
So you're having this conversation as you're going, which is absolutely brilliant, by the way. I'm loving this. And as you're walking, you're having this conversation. You're very involved in your conversation, and time's slowly marching on. You've probably spent another 2 hours or so walking and talking, so it's getting on towards 4 o'clock now, and the sky is darkening rapidly today. And make me a spot check, everyone.
I've got a 16 all in.
16 all in.
I've got a 10 all in.
Apparently, I'm still blind. I've got 6 all in.
I'm assuming that you're still wearing your visor. So you've got an 8 all in.
Okay. What was the reason? It was just down because I'm.
You were hungover.
I'm hiding from the light. We're not.
Yeah. So it's giving you a -2 penalty on your spot
8.
check.
Okay.
So Elora and Cuin, you're deeply involved in your conversation, discussing, your relation with Casper and how you've come to know each other, this, that, and the other. And it's not as much as you don't notice anything, but you're aware of what's going on around you, but you're just not particularly interested in it. Ogvar, your trained senses from being a hunter, you're able to multitask a bit better than those two, and you're paying attention to what they're saying, and you're listening in. But you're also keeping an eye on your surroundings, and you notice that this weather is darkening. The weather is turning rapidly, and the reason why it's this dark is that you just get the scent on the air. You get there's this cold wind whipping up, and it's whistling over the plains, and it's biting. It's starting to turn that kind of cold which hurts. And you notice this, and you can almost sense the rain. You can smell it in the air, and you know that there's going to be a storm coming.
Okay.
You're all still walking on this road. There's not much in the way of cover, as far as you can see.
So there's no outcrops of trees or anything we could head
Make
towards?
me a survival.
Survival? Okay.
Yep, make me a survival check. You're the only one who's noticed it at this point. The other
Okay.
two are just busy talking.
Blissfully unaware.
That's 6 plus 5, so that's 11 all in.
Yeah, okay. From what you can tell about this area, you would say that there would be a copse of trees would probably be the best place to take shelter. There probably isn't going to be much in the way of outcroppings of rock, but you can go and actively look for one if you want to make everyone aware that you might want to take shelter or whatever.
Okay, yeah, so I can relay that to the group. And starting to drop dark rather quickly. The weather is not looking favourable. I smell the air on the wind. I think we should smell the air on the wind. I'll start again.
Somebody else had the drink spiked.
Yeah. Right, I'll start again. I'll write rain down. Rain. Smell the rain on the wind. Okay, I'll relay that to the party. I think we should find some shelter. It's dropping dark rather quickly now. I can smell the rain on the wind. I think we may be in for a bit of a storm.
Just as you say that, you hear in the far distance, coming over from kind of like the sea direction, so to your eastern side, you hear this very distant grumble and low rumble of thunder. And all of you are now aware that, yeah, it's not looking great.
Well, I have to say that I was too busy talking to Cuin to notice that. But you're right. Listen, you can hear it from here. So, what do you say we make camp before we get blown away and soaked?
Yes. Ogvar, do you reckon we should maybe try and find somewhere to fortify up and just protect us a little bit?
Yes. I think we should maybe get off the road a little bit, not too far though, and see if we can find somewhere to rest for the night.
It's rather dark.
You might want to try lifting your visor.
Oh, that's so much better. Yes, that's brilliant. Oh, I don't know what comes over me sometimes. Yes, it must have been the headache.
Has it improved?
Yes, much better now. The light's not quite so bright, so
Okay.
saves
That's
my
good.
eyes.
So if you're all going to be looking for somewhere to stay, you can all make me survival checks. Oh, you've got that grin on your face.
Yeah, nat 20.
Nat 20 plus 1, 21.
Yeah, plus 5.
I got
25.
10 minus 9 for... 10 minus 9. 10 minus 1, so that's a 9.
It's always got to be one, yeah.
Yeah, always 1.
So both Cuin and Ogvar, now that you've lifted your visor, Cuin, you can see, it's looking bad. So you immediately start searching around and looking for somewhere to take shelter. And Ogvar, you're used to looking for shelter in places. You're bang on it. Elora's kind of trailing behind you like a lost puppy. She doesn't really know what she's doing. She's trying her best though, bless her. But yeah, you managed to find a small copse of trees. And in this small copse of trees, there is a large outcropping of rock on the eastern side, which is perfect for you. This rain is coming from the eastern side, so...
Yeah, okay.
Yep, okay.
So, should we all make camp here?
Well, I'm getting my tent out. I'm already getting my tent out of my backpack. And I'm going to try and put this thing up before the wind whips up too much, because that could go pretty horribly wrong and get a bit complicated.
Yeah. Hit me at 25%.
25 to 50.
Just. Right, okay.
Are we all going to...
Yep.
You all set up tents?
We're
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
gonna.
all set up
We're going to
Tent.
put them in a row. I'm going to
Okay.
sandwich mine between theirs.
25% from you and 25% from you. Pick one.
Okay.
I'm gonna go for 75 to 100.
25 to 100. Right, okay. And you?
I'll go 25 to 50.
You've all mildly, narrowly avoided having to fight with a line from your tent. So, there's that, I suppose.
A lion.
A lion. I thought she said a
Lion.
lion. Oh, a
Lion.
line. I thought she said a lion as well.
Yeah, rawr.
Well, we outcropping a rock, see.
This is a lion
What is
king.
this, Simba?
Yeah.
No, Musafa. Or Scar.
Can we get a fire going as well?
Yep, make me a survival check for that, because the
Survival?
wind is picking up.
Yeah. Get in sooner rather than later. A 4 plus 5, so it's 9 all in.
I got 17 plus 1 is 18.
Do I really need to roll? Okay.
Well, unless you're trying to start a fire?
Well, I don't know. We haven't. This is a comedy This is a comedy podcast, isn't it? What was this for? Survival. Oh well, that's a 4 minus 1, which is a 3 all in. As I said, was it worth it?
Right. Yeah, neither Ogvar nor Elora can get a fire going. However, Cuin, you do manage to get a fire going, and it is the piddliest, tiniest, weeniest little fire you can imagine, because, you know, it's starting to get damp in the air, and it's difficult to light fire at this point. But there's a bit of fire there. What are you doing?
So what time are we looking at about now?
It's probably about 4:30, I'd say now, because you have had to motor on, and this storm is nearly on top of you now. You can hear that you've got that cold, blustering wind, and although you're sheltered, it is whipping around the edges of the rock, and it is catching the side of you, and you can hear the sides of the tents, the canvas kind of billowing in the wind and slightly, and the tent, you can see the tent, the the lines. You see the lines of the tent straining, and your fire is guttering, and you feel the dampness in the air, and you can feel the hair on the back of your arms start to raise slightly as this booming thunder just echoes around. And it really does echo. It sounds like you're inside a drum, basically.
I don't know about anyone else, but this seems rather a big storm. I'm just wondering, is this natural, Ogvar, or have you seen these things before?
Knowledge nature, knowledge local.
Okay. Nice nature. I got 11 plus 5, so 16 all in.
I have to re-roll that because I couldn't see it.
Re-roll it.
Sorry. 14.
Okay, so what did you get, Ogvar?
11 plus 5, 16 all in.
16, yeah. This is a completely natural storm, you know it is.
Okay.
Although you don't really experience this level of storms over in Kessig because you're further inland, there's more forested areas around there. But you can tell that there's nothing magical about this storm. You've seen these clouds forming, you've seen them rolling in. It's not of that kind of magical scale. With a 14, was it?
14, yeah.
With a 14, you know that this is about par for the course with Nephalia. Days which are sunny like the previous day are extremely rare. It was a nice treat for you in that sense. But Nephalia is known for billowing sea fogs, heavy storms which roll in over the waves. It's common, okay?
Okay, so the storm's sort of coming in off the sea then.
Yeah, it is. It's coming off your eastern side, so where the Bay of Vuestra is, it's literally just rolling in from there.
Would I know whether this is likely to be sort of a long storm or whatever from being on the ships and stuff like that? Because obviously it gets a bit rough on the water.
What knowledge do you have? What are your knowledges on your sheet?
What do you mean, what my
What are your knowledge, what are your skills, what have you got?
Well, I've just got cartography.
Oh, okay.
I've got knowledge arcana, knowledge
Right.
local.
Okay, roll me a straight wisdom check then.
Wisdom check is... Oh, great, -1. That'll be a 14 all in.
Yeah, with the 14, you've been on these ships, and although you're more up the river, you tend to travel up and down the river from Thraben to Havengirl and around that way. So you'll mainly stay on the Silverland River, but you have been along the coast down to Drunau occasionally, and also Selhoff, although you've never really ventured into the cities much. You have been around the coast, however, and although not really one for sea travel, you can tell that, you know, it might last for, you know, probably rumble on into the night, but it'll probably die out quite quickly. It wouldn't be as violent as it would be on the sea, obviously. But again, you're not a seafarer yourself, you're not a captain, you don't really know how to drive a ship, sail a ship. So it wouldn't be something you could comment on definitely, but you'd know that probably lasts into the night.
Well, I reckon we're not going to be able to keep the fire going. I mean, it's probably set in for the evening, I would think. This is fairly tame for me. I'm used to being thrown around on the water a bit with these storms, but, you know, I reckon we should just hunker down and get some rest. I'm going to, before it hits fully, I'm going to sit down and get some rations out. I'm just going to plonk myself on the floor before it gets too wet and too wild.
Yeah.
And get some rations down.
Is it too much of a storm at the moment for us to be outside? Are we also like in our respective tents, or like poking our heads out, chatting across type thing, or?
It's up to you. If you want to sit in your tent and poke your head out, that's up to you, I guess.
Well, I'm just going to sit by the front flap of the tent until it gets too bad, and then...
It is nearly on you, so you haven't got long.
Okay.
Right, well, I'm just going to cram then.
Right, okay.
Really fast.
Yeah.
Make me a constitution check.
Yeah. All of us, yeah?
Are you all cramming food?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of you make me a constitution check.
Can't I eat in my tent?
What?
Can't I eat in my tent?
Yeah, you can, but if you're still... Well, you're not cramming your food then? No. Okay.
Constitution.
Yep,
That'd be a
constitution.
9 all in.
Sorry,
for Elora.
sorry, a fortitude saving throw. That's my fault. Sorry, saving throw.
Oh. Right, hang on, a fortitude saving.
I've got 18. All in.
I've got a 10 all in.
Yeah, with an 18 Cuin, you're fine. You slam that food and, yeah, you're good. With a 10, you don't choke, which is, you know, useful. But you have got a mild case of the hiccups.
Ah, Struth. Not again.
That
Oh.
takes one day's ration away.
Yes,
Yeah, one
make
day.
sure you're knocking off your rations. So you're sat in your tent, you're just calmly eating, are you?
Yeah, just munching.
And you two are still outside.
Yes. Well, I suppose it seems to be approaching. I think I'll retire. Get some rest.
As you say that, you hear a blink as the first drop of rain hits your armour.
Crikey! Right, enjoy. I'm off. Bye.
And the heavens fall. You avoid getting wet mostly. Are you dashing into your tent?
Yep.
Right, make me a dexterity saving throw.
Both of them.
No, just her. You've avoided it.
That'll be a 17.
Yeah, you literally dive headfirst into your tent. You hear a squeak from inside your cloak because I don't think Rowan Batkinson's very happy about that, but you avoid the rain. So you're all sat in your respective tents and you hear the heavens open, and it is like someone is dropping beans onto a drum. It is pelting down against the canvas of your tents, and no, this rumbling of the thunder is all you can hear at this point. Banging and crashing and pelting of rain.
Should have put that oil on the outside of your tent to make the rain slide off.
Like on a windshield. Rain-X.
I've got 5.5, well, I've got a pile of rations left, about 5.5 days rations left. So I'm going to just have a scuffle round in those, in the darkness, and see if there's a bit of fruit, dried fruit or something for Rowan, because I'm not going to send him out in this. He'll get blown out to sea or blown inland or something.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of bits dried fruit. It doesn't actually take much out of your rations at all, so you don't need to knock anything away.
I'm just gonna talk to Rowan and just have a conversation with him generally. He's not going to answer me, but I'm still going to talk to him.
Right, okay. There is not much really to do at the moment. You're all in your tents. They're kind of one-man tents, so, you're just sat there.
Okay. Well, I'm going to check my armour and
Yep.
oil it up, so I've got extra oil for that. So,
Yep.
And I'm going to...
Well, I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
So as you're checking your armour, you flick a couple of bits of wax you missed off from where you smeared that wax candle all over yourself. You flick a couple of little bits of leftover wax off, you give yourself good oil, you might want to check the hinges on your visor. They're not squeaking anymore.
And he's doing all this in the dark, is he?
Yeah, he's managing that somehow. Just going to leave him to it. I'd say he knows his armour well enough, seeing he's still wearing it at this point, I'd assume, that he knows his way around his own armour and he can probably do this blindfolded. So you just go to sleep, you take him...
How much of an early night are we having at the moment?
It's probably about 5 o'clock, it is early night. But, there's this thunder raging overhead, and make me a constitution, just straight constitution, no fortitude. Maybe a constitution check.
Be a 13 all in from Elora.
Be a 6 all in from Ogvar.
Be 7 all in.
Ooh. Right, so you, Elora, you managed to drop off to sleep fairly quickly. You are used to being on ships with loud banging and crashing and crewmates yelling and shouting. You're used to falling asleep in, loud and noisy places. Ogvar and Cuin, but you're both not able to fall asleep right away. It takes you a good 3 or so hours to fall asleep and get used to this noise, by which point the storm's kind of died off. Cuin, you're more used to being in the temple kind of monastery kind of setting where people do have regulated bedtimes. It's quiet. The servants in your house when you were living on the estate, they were quiet, and you're used to being in luxury almost. And Ogvar, you're used to being in the woods. You're used to the sounds of nature and just peace and quiet. So you struggle with all this loud crashing going on overhead. But 3 hours in, and you finally manage to drop off as the storm rolls over you, and it has been a large storm, and it's rolled over you, and it's starting to die away. As it's got further inland, it's got weaker and weaker, and now you're just having the tail ends of thunder, and you can tell that it's a further distance now as it slowly peters off.
Is it still raining?
The rain hasn't. It's no longer bouncing off the roof, off your tent, but it's more of like a light drizzle, you could say.
Okay. We all managed to get some.
So this is... we're all asleep, aren't we? So...
Yep, and that's that.
Okay.
So, what time are you waking up then?
Well,
Well,
cracked
we've had
the dawn because we've all had a
we've
time
had a
to
long
get
rest. Yeah.
Okay, so you dropped off about 8. I'll say you've probably had a good, decent long rest.
Mm-hmm.
So you wake up and it's about 5 o'clock in the morning.
Right. Well, I'm going to get up and come out and think, oh dear. That storm was really bad. Oh, my fire's gone out. I suppose I'd better try and light another fire.
Oh,
Okay, roll me a survival check to light a wet fire.
good luck with that.
That's a nat 20.
Oh!
With... What's I got to put it with?
Survival, but you probably don't need to worry about that. I'm not going to
21.
lie.
That is a 20, isn't it? Sam? That is a 20, isn't it?
Oh, that's definitely a 20. Yeah.
Right. You emerge from your tent and I'm saying, are you the only one out at this point? You two just waking up and getting up?
Yeah, just stirring, just...
Right, you two are waking up and stirring, and you hear him go, "Arr!" outside. And you know he's awake and he's up, you can tell. And as you emerge out of your tent, Cuin, you see that the storm has fully passed overnight. It's not a bright day, but it's not like a grey, grimy sky. It's just kind of, almost like that kind of white you see when it's just a day.
Okay. It's a normal day.
Yeah, it's not particularly sunny. It doesn't look like it's going to rain. It's just like kind of flat grey, which is just like bleak day, standard for Innistrad. And you see that the ground is sodden. I mean, you're moving through it, and you can you see the water dripping off of your armour as you move through it. It's not dew; it is just water. And you see your fire, and you're disappointed that it's gone out. I don't know why you're expecting it to stay alight.
Optimism.
Well, yeah, there's that. But you start trying to light it. And somehow, God knows how, you move a couple of bits of the wet wood off top, and underneath is perfectly dry. For some inexplicable reason, you can only assume that Avacyn herself was smiling down upon you. And you light the fire. And you've got a decent fire going.
Can I come out my tent now and...
Yeah, sure.
Obviously, everything's soaking wet, and can I just pop my head out of the outcrop trees and just sort of look up and down the main road that we're on and see if anything's about? See what's going on in the
make a spot check.
Yep. It's a 4 + 4, so it's 8 all in.
Okay. You go to look up and down the road to see if anything's, but you're immediately distracted by this paladin who appears to be trying to light wet firewood. You're even more distracted by the fact that it actually lights. This is a bit of wonder of nature to you, and yeah, no, you're completely distracted by that.
Okay. So, don't see anything.
Nope.
Ogvar, I managed to get the fire going. That's good. What? Yes.
Oh, yes, just very good job. Very good. Very good.
Well, at this point, I'm going to come out my tent, look around, look at these two, look at the fire. I'm just going to adjust my hat slightly and pull a face like, really? The fire's going? And then I'm going to climb out the tent and just survey the area and look at the wet and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So, have a stretch.
I suppose, Zeno are not having any drink. Maybe we should talk about where we're going now. Straight back on the road, or just have a look around?
Well, we can't have anything to drink because I've got nothing to put in the percolator. We got a percolator and we got some cups. We got nothing to percolate.
Can I have a look around and see if I can find some nettles or something?
Yeah, make me a search check.
Right. Search is gonna be okay. That's a nat 1.
Okay, yeah, you find some nettles. And you find some nettles because you trip over and you fall into the nettles.
Ow! Oh! Ow!
There are definitely nettles there.
Oh, I'm going to walk away scratching the backs of my hands now.
Yeah.
That
We did find
stings.
some.
It's not quite what I had in mind though, Ogvar, you know.
So I reckon we should... Elora, you're all right there?
I'm great, thanks, Cuin. Yeah, I got stung by some nettles.
Oh, nettle.
It's itching now, you know.
But you haven't got any gloves on. Surely you'd be better with gloves.
Yeah, that's great. I'm not good in the mornings. Yeah?
Oh, okay. Okay, fine. Well, I suppose... why were you looking for nettles?
Well, I thought that maybe we could... We've got some water. I thought maybe we could make some nettle tea, you know, something to drink. God, this itches.
I with my gloves, could have a try if you wish, but, it's up to you.
Well, if you've got gloves on, you go for it, mate.
Right, you're going to show him where the nettles are.
Yeah.
Okay, so make me a spot check, Cuin.
That's not good. 4 + 1 is 5.
Okay, no, she shows you where the nettles are, and you're able to grab a handful of nettles. That's it.
There you go. See? Always asking for gloves. Always wear gloves. So I'm going to then...
I'm just going to give him a really, really long, cold stare.
So I'm going to take them back and... Right, what do you do with the nettles?
So
I can think of a few suggestions. You might want to give them to Ogvar.
I've just been looking up and down the road at this point. I haven't really seen any of this unveil.
Ogvar!
So you look up and down the road again, yeah?
No, I was.
Oh, right.
I've just been sort of stood out there surveying, so
Where's he
I
gone?
assume all that sort of unravelled behind me without me noticing.
Yeah, if you want
So
to play
I'll-
it that way, then yeah.
I walked back because I just heard my name being called.
Yeah, got some nettles here. Elora says you can make some tea out of it.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I can do that for you. I'll get it on. Is it 3 for tea, is it?
That sounds like a fantastic idea.
Hey, so
Oh, yes, please.
well, proceed to make some morning tea then.
Right, okay, you make some nettle tea. No, I'm not going to make you roll to make nettle tea. I don't know what I'd make you roll, to be honest.
Right, so we've all.
I don't think there's a knowledge cooking.
Right, so
Craft tea.
So we're gonna have a cup of tea. Then we're all
yeah, yes.
kept percolators going. That's. Is it worth discussing? Obviously, we know we've got documents.
Yeah.
We know we can't read them. And we know that there's Drunau
Yeah.
mentioned in it. That's where we're heading to.
Yeah.
Are we going to sort of discuss what we're going to do when we get there? It's all right to go there, but we need to.
Yes, because the only 3 words are Ruonic, which is on the Ionic resonator, dearest, and Drunau. So, where did it say where?
I think that was the only clues we had.
Yeah.
That's the only clues that we
sure
know
there was
about.
nothing
Anyway.
I was given as feedback.
Right, I'm gonna. Thanks, Ogvar, for the tea. I'm gonna empty the mug, give it a bit of a shake out, flush it out with a bit of water from my water skin, and then pop it back in my backpack.
Yeah.
I'm then going to proceed to go over and start, in a rather bad mood, pulling tent pegs out
Okay.
and pulling the lines out and.
Pick me 2 separate 10% intervals.
20 to 30, 70 to 80.
Wow. As you're pulling out the tent, like the lines and pegs, your hand brushes a plant. And you can easily recognise this is common. You've just found some dock leaves.
Oh! Things are looking up. I'm going to reach down, pull up the dock leaves and start slapping them on the back of my hands, which are still very itchy. Just crush them a bit on the back of my hands and then I'll carry on pulling the tent pegs out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
You're all disassembling your tents and everything,
Assembling.
yep.
Yeah, can do. Yeah.
Okay. So you're breaking up camp. I'd say it's probably around the time you spent finding nettles and percolating nettle tea and taking your tents. It's around 6 a.m. now.
I am going to flap my tent material out properly to try and get as much of the water off before folding it up.
Yeah. You flap it around and
Yeah.
you just hear some squeaks from inside your cloak as Rowan gets jostled a bit.
Oh, sorry, Rowan. Just hang on, mate. I've just got to do this.
Yeah, you pack away your tents properly and nicely and yeah.
I suppose we might as well head off then. Yes. Agree.
Stamp the fire out first.
Yeah, lead the way, Cuin. I'll fall in line behind you as usual.
Yes. Right. Okay. Well, I'll just stamp out the fire. It was a miracle I got that going, but hey ho.
I'm just going to stand there and shake my head because I still can't quite believe that, but there you go.
Right.
6 a.m. and we're leaving camp.
We've still got another 2-3 days travel.
What did I say? You've 3 to 4 days. You had half day travel, so 3.5 to 3 days. 3 to 3.5 days travel, depending on your pace, obviously.
Right, well, I guess we're going to be doing some hunting and shit, aren't we, to substitute our rations or God knows what else. Aren't we?
Yeah, we've got like 5.5
As long as I
days
don't
left.
have
I
to
think.
skin it.
Practice makes perfect.
Right, so what's the first thing you want to do?
Well,
Right, 6 o'clock in the morning, are we?
Yep, 6 o'clock. You've packed up your tents. You've shoved everything away.
Cool. Might as well just
yes.
keep moving.
Heading towards.
No.
Well, I guess we carry on down the road then. Let's just, we've still got a fair few days of travel left, so let's just plod on, I guess.
Okay, so you keep on going down the wild road. It's much of the same, really. It's, rolling plains, same as usual. And yeah, you just keep on plodding on.
Can we keep our eyes open for something to hunt on the way?
Yeah, make me a couple of survival. Make me 3 survival, just you. Wait, who's keeping their eye open? Sorry.
Not me. I'm bumbling along.
Who's keeping an eye out for something to hunt?
I will.
Well, he's for Hundo, am I?
Right, okay.
Yep.
Roll me up a survival roll.
Survival roll. Okay. 12 plus 5, 17 all in.
Yeah, while you're plodding along, you're very much keeping your eye on the surroundings, looking around, trying to see if there's anything that is remotely edible running around.
Mhm.
And as you're keeping an eye open, you spot a fat pair of rabbits.
Okay.
And they're hopping off towards the west view. So as you're heading down towards Drunau, they're hopping inland, and they're just hopping around. What would you like to do?
See if we can have them.
Right, okay. So, what are you going to attack them? Are you shoot them, yeah?
Shoot them with the bow.
Okay, are you just going for the one, or are you trying to go for both?
Go for one to start with.
Right, okay. So roll to hit. I've got to find a rabbit now.
Stunning.
So if you want to roll to hit,
Okay, yeah. It's 19, and what do I add to it? The attack bonus for the
yeah.
bow.
I'm not even going to look up a rabbit at this point.
Is there going to be anything left of the rabbit on that?
Right, okay. So you release this arrow, and I'd say that these rabbits are maybe they're just on the edge of the 30-foot distance, because I can't bother to look up the check penalty for a short bow. And yeah, you hit one rabbit and it goes straight through its head.
Oh, nice.
I presume I see this happening. Obviously, we're all still stood there. So, oh, bloody good shot there, mate. Look at that, clean through the head. Excellent. I take it that's on the menu then, is it?
Well, I told you he was pretty handy to have around, didn't I?
What do you reckon, Cuin? Do you reckon rabbit stew or, just
what-
like roast rabbit or
We'd have to have some vegetables like that.
vegetable? Well, I don't know. Can we find any vegetables? Is there any
Well, if it's a stew,
Okay, so is there any vegetation for us, or can we do a spot check on vegetation to go with the rabbit for later?
So it is 6 o'clock in the morning.
Because you're specifically searching for vegetables, roll a search check, both of you. Oh god, there it goes.
that was a bloody 20 and all.
That's a 20. It's just a nat 20. What vegetable do you want to find? He's just looking in a mirror.
Carrots.
Okay, yeah. You find some carrots, and it happened to be what those little bunnies were munching on. So there's a couple of nice carrots there for you.
See? So I picked those up and put them in
So
my...
they go onto your inventory, do they?
Yeah, it'll be just in Cuin's though.
What about my rabbit?
Okay, fine, you can have your rabbit. I'm sorry.
I'm going to hang it off the back of his backpack.
Yeah, it's quite easy to retrieve the arrow. When you hit the rabbit, it squealed and the other rabbit ran off. Disappeared down a burrow not too far away.
Right, so we'll carry on.
Yeah. So
Well, that's
What-
dinner
what's the-
sorted.
Yes, that was an exceptionally good shot there, Ogvar. And I've got these carrots, yes. Brilliant.
Oh, I can't wait for dinner.
What did you roll, by the way, on your search check?
Did I? I didn't do one.
You did?
No, I
It
didn't.
didn't.
I didn't.
No,
No,
I just knocked it. I knocked it dice off.
So yeah, you've got this rabbit. Are you gonna try and skin it as you walk, or clean it while you walk, or
I'll keep it and prepare it when
keep it
we're cooking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've successfully shot a bunny, found some carrots, and now you're just continuing down the road. And let's see what we can do. Somebody pick me a 15% range.
15 to 30.
15 to 30. Okay, no. So an hour passes. It's about 7:30 now after the whole excitement of finding a bunny and whatnot. So it's about 7:30 in the morning, and nothing's really happened. There's a gentle breeze this morning. It's pulled up, it's passing over the land, and you can hear the little rough copses of trees which are kind of dotted around. You can hear some rustling from there, obviously the branches, the wind through the branches. But aside from that, it's quiet. You hear some calls from some hawks above. There's not much going on,
Ogvar,
really.
oh, just make sure that bunny's out of sight, because there's some hawks up there. I don't want them nicking dinner.
Okay, I'll put it in my pack. So it was over my shoulder. I was just sort of quite proud of me, my hunting skills. Sort of swaggering along with it. I just took it in now.
Okay, let's go for a 30-50. No, okay. So it's about 9 o'clock in the morning now, and you've travelled a fair way. You've made decent pace. You can probably say that if you keep this pace up, you will reach Drunau in 3 days' time. And it's just more of the same. Rolling plains, not much going on. You see, roll me a track, please.
Me?
Yep.
Okay, track. It's nat 20 plus 3.
What's going on? Yeah, as you're walking along, you're starting to notice that some of these tracks, because it's been wet and the ground's gone kind of soft and muddy, you can see that there's some very faint imprints of what look like quite recent hoof marks, basically. It looks like someone's ridden past in the last 24 hours.
Okay.
Perhaps overnight, seeing as they do look fairly fresh, but it looks like someone's been galloping through the storm.
Okay, which way are they heading?
Towards Drunau.
Okay.
Okay.
Shall I relay that to the group?
If you want.
Okay, I'll draw everyone's attention to it. I have noticed in the ground there are hoof prints. Can I tell how many? Was it just a single person?
Roll me a knowledge nature.
Knowledge nature, okay. So 5 plus 5, so that's a 10, all in.
Yeah, okay, so 10's the score which you would say is an average person score in D&D. So you stand there and you kind of kneel down and you run your hands over the tracks and you look at them for a minute and you can say there's probably 3, maybe 4. Not quite sure because they do cross over at some points. Obviously, they've been riding either in line or side by side. Okay, yeah. So it's difficult to tell exactly how many, but you'd say either 3 or 4 riders.
There's been some riders pass through fairly recently, maybe even through the storm. Small group of them by the looks of it, but they're definitely heading the way we have been.
Oh. Right.
Maybe nothing, but...
That's rather curious. You know, we were attacked outside.
Can you tell what pace they were riding at? Were they in a hurry or just pony tracking?
Can I tell?
Yeah, you don't need to roll anything for that because you've already rolled in that 20. They were galloping by the looks of it, by the kind of depth of the where the feet, the hooves have dug in, the depth and the amount of dirt that's flicked up out of these dug in holes and kind of the length of the striding, you can tell that they were flat out galloping.
Okay. So yeah, just Elora, they were travelling at quite a rate. He had a bit of a lick on.
Oh, right. So
Must
somebody's
have
in
been
a
an
hurry.
awful hurry.
So I'm assuming that because of these hoof prints, it's obviously after the ground's been wet. So it's been quite recent, really.
Yes, within the last day.
I wonder what they were in a hurry for.
Yes, very peculiar. After that attack at Gloomrest, I wonder maybe we should be a bit more on our guard. What do you think?
Well, that might be wise. There's obviously people travelling the road, isn't there?
Yes, but not for a storm like last night, surely.
Well, you have to be pretty desperate to go out in that, I must admit. Well, we're coming from somewhere and clearly going to somewhere, so...
Okay, so we proceed with a bit of caution now.
A bit more caution.
Okay, so, yeah. Is there anything you'd like to do while you're walking? It is about 9 o'clock now, as I said. Is there anything you want to do, anything you want to talk about, discuss? If you want to talk about, discuss anything, just go for it.
Has anyone been to Drunau before?
No, I've not actually been there. I mean, obviously I'm on the ships for Casper, and I travel up and down the river from sort of Havengold through to Thraben and back again, but I have been down the Bay of Vistro before, down the coast. I've gone, past, we've docked in at Drunau and a couple of other places, but I've not actually really disembarked the ship. I've been on a fast turnaround, so no, I can't say I've ever really been there. Seemed busy on the docks, but that's kind of all I know.
No, I've never been there. Maybe I should have asked Casper if he'd ever been there, but yes, no, I'm all been centred around company, really. So.
Okay, on the subject of Drunau, if you make me a knowledge local, Elora. Make it good.
That would be a 7 all in.
You didn't make it good.
Oh, well, I know. Sorry, it's a 10 all in.
That's not much better.
Sorry.
Yeah, you, as you said, you haven't really experienced much of Drunau itself. You've heard bits and bobs here and there, but basically what you've said is kind of what you know at this point.
Okay, so yeah, I suppose I wonder what we should do. I suppose the best thing is to maybe. Once we get there, maybe we should find a suitable inn, do a bit of recce from that sort of place. What do you think?
Well, as far as I know, I think it's kind of largest. It's kind of a largish. Is it town or a city?
It is a city.
Oh, it's quite large.
It is one of the 3 biggest cities in Nephalia.
And I would know.
It is the third. Yeah, it is the 3rd biggest.
Right.
Largest city.
From what I know of Drunau, it's one of the biggest cities in Nephalia. It's quite a big place. It's a city, so I would imagine it's quite busy, quite lively. I would imagine there's a lot going on. So finding an inn shouldn't be a problem. Finding somewhere, you probably have a choice of places to stay, so I think that's as good an idea as any. I mean, let's face it, I don't want too many nights in a soggy tent.
Oh.
Plus, I need to dry my tent out.
That's true. Yes. Okay. So you better we could just carry on forward.
So, after the excitement of the Skurstag skirmish, our trio of travellers begin to migrate south towards Drunau. Stormy skies disrupted the day, and our heroes soon sought shelter. A new day dawned, and before long the ranger had rustled up some rabbit while our paladin sauced the side dish. Thank you for listening to our podcast. Having you as a listener means everything to us. So, whichever streaming service you choose to listen to us with, please give us a like, subscribe and follow. We would love for you to join us on our Facebook or Twitter page, where you can catch up with all of our latest news. While you're waiting for the next episode of Secrets of the Silver City, why not pop over to our website, where you can read all of the information about this campaign, from backstories to setting. All of the links are in the bio of this episode. Join us again next week for the next instalment. Thank you for listening.